Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the finest Dawn of War Unification cast this side of East Yorkshire, and today we have a 1v1 on Deadly Fun Archaeology. Over in the Imperial Fist corner we have got Ryandel, and over in the Imperial Guards corner we have got Huntingdon. Huntingdon going to be recruiting some conscripts, guardsmen, tech priest engines here, as well as building up an infantry command in this nice little snug choke point, and a plasma generator. In the Imperial Fist corner we have got some tech marines being recruited, some siege marines going on, a hand of dawn being built up, and a siege generator. So both factions very good at fortifying positions, very defensive in their own rights and respects. So it'll be interesting to see if there's some aggressive / defensive players, whoever can fortify their areas the best and hold them off from the advancing waves of guardsmen or the slow trudge of the siege marines and whatnot. Hand of dawn slowly but surely being built up. Only one siege marine being recruited at the beginning, so I'm expecting saving that money to get some more tactical marines out. Going to be slowly getting their blue money and their listing posts online. Imperial Guard kind of doing the same really. They've only got one conscript squad, one guardsman squad. Anything else being built up at the moment? Oh, they have got a command squad, so both sides going fairly light on the infantry early on in the game. Ah, they're just saving up money so they can get some heavy bolters on specific sides. Okay, yeah. So playing a bit of an aggressive defensive manoeuvre with a heavy bolter up there. Commander going to be manoeuvring around. The guard going to be recruiting a priest on his side. Heavy bolter being popped over on this side as well. You have some space marines being popped out of the Hand of Dawn. Not tactical squad. The siege marines going down here, capturing this strategic point as well. So what would be the opening or the go-to players for these factions? I mean, I guess we're kind of already seeing it. Lots of tactical space marines for the Imperial Fists, focusing on just denying sections of the map. I mean, this heavy bolter, so it will be very difficult for the Imperial Guardsmen to take on until they get some, maybe grenade launchers, maybe some... What else have they got? They're able to have access to... Oh, these are conscripts. Where are the actual proper guardsmen? Ah, there we go. They're able to get some heavy stubbers. I suppose some long lasers, grenade launchers. Yeah, just in general, if they get some weapons upgrades, they might be able to chunk their way through some heavy bolter turrets, as long as they're properly supported by their commander and whatnot. Commander now on the south side of the map. Going to try and see if they can take on these tech marines. Will see these space marines instead. Thinking of going for them, but then deciding not. After all, these tech marines aren't nothing to be sniffed at in close combat. With them supporting these space marines, they will be able to do a fair bit of damage to them. These siege marines over here being shot around by these guardsmen. Space marines over here going to engage the Imperial General in close combat, preventing him from using his heavy cover bonus. We do have a Psyker join the ranks. Guardsmen over here continuing firing into these siege marines, managing to take down one model so far. Do have a heavy bottle turret being built up over here. Again, another useful area of denial tool, although it's not quite within the range, not going to be able to help assist them in pushing these guardsmen off the critical location. These guardsmen over here have had their morale being broken. And there we go, that will prevent the command squad from being able to move in relatively unsullied. Heavy bottle turret doing a fair bit of damage to this priest over here. Will stop them from pushing too far into these space marines. We have a second space marine squad being built up over here. Going to be going and flanking this guardsman unit. Guardsmen on auto reinforce, but their morale being broken, health being quite fragile. They aren't going to be able to stay there for much longer. Command squad staying a little bit longer than probably necessary. Might lose their priest. But in fact, they will definitely lose their priest. A very unfortunate thing for them to have to deal with. And the command squad is going to run away. 74 and 10 compared to the 80 and 20 of the guardsmen. So guardsmen have got their economy online a little bit earlier. Help of the conscripts, more guardsmen coming online as well. Does seem that the space marines are slowly but surely popping. There we go, this listening post over here, going for a couple of upgrades on that listening post. Now these conscripts in the worst position humanly possible, going over negative cover as well as falling foul in this little corner. A bit of engagement going on over here. Guardsmen going nice, close and personal, not quite engaging in close combat, but just getting within. I don't know, it's It's not melee combat, it's point blank range, that's the word I'm looking for. General and his friends moving in, nice, close and personal, although with the assistance of the Siege Marines heavy cover as well as the heavy cover of this crate over here, will prevent most of the las fire damage from being done to them. Command squad are going to push back, General almost dying, listening post finally being finished up, maybe some guardsmen can be popped in there, some shooting bits are going to be added to this listening post as well. Anything cool going on in the base? We do have some armories going on, war gear bionics being researched. Vin Diesel, the big Chad Daddy of the Imperial Fists, coming online. We've got Tier 2 going for the Imperial Guard, so not investing too much in their Tier 1 infantry at the moment. Imperial Fist Space Marines using their temporary ability where they're able to equip missile launchers for a small amount of time. Guardsmen standing nice and close, shooting at close range. Siege Captain going to be getting involved. All morale being broken all over here. Guardsmen might want to fall back a little bit. This is a significant amount of Imperial Fist to deal with. Although these guys are falling back for some reason. Not entirely sure why. They could press in a little bit. There's not many in the way of human bodies to take on at the moment. They could do a fair bit of damage, but they are going to fall back just a little bit. Maybe regaining their numbers before going in for a big push. Do see these conscripts, my goodness, they have certainly bulked up. 19 boys all in all. Send them to the front. Let them absorb all the damage. Wonderful flaming animation going on from these Siege Marines. Going to break the morale of these guys. Quick, sharpish, no problem whatsoever. And the Guardsmen have lost their General and Command Squad as well. You have an infantry command being built up over here, adding to the defensive capabilities. Tier 2 almost finishing. 110 and 20 to the 82 and 30 of the Siege Marines, or the Imperial Fists. Heavy ball turret being built up over here. So, I mean, there's significant Space Marine presence in this little crater over here, but the Guardsmen do have the economic advantage. If the Siege Marines don't press in and use their numerical advantage to do some damage to these Guardsmen, they will be able to slowly but surely outmatch and outpace these Space Marines. They are going for some heavy stubbers. Will help them penetrate the heavy infantry armour of the Space Marines. Also going to go for a heavy bolter turret down here. So there going to be lots and lots of defensive things for the Siege Marines to have to deal with. More upgrades going down for the LPs here. Got a siege generator with some improved power schematics. Remember that the Imperial Fist can only build one siege generator. So the green money gain early on in the game isn't too drastic. Got some battle armor and some targeting resolutions being researched as well. Yeah, this Imperial Fist player really dropping the ball here. Needs to do something with his numerical advantage before the Imperial Guard manage to catch up. Already got two fully fledged squads, should I say. Some with heavy stubbers, some with plasma guns. Listing post over here looking a little bit fragile. Does have some shooting bits on it. Will be able to defend itself for a little while. But this is a lot of firepower for it to have to manage and deal with. And will go down fairly quickly. Guardsmen go to moving up. Significant amount of boys in both of these squads. And moving on this flanking. I mean, we had this little concave over here. But I mean, with some boys over here, they are going to have to reposition to get some firing arcs on these Guardsmen. Morale instantly more or less breaking from these Siege Marines. Will need to see some commissars potentially on the field just to keep them from having their morale being broken. Imperial Fist going to go for their Tier 2. Going to go for a vehicle squad cap increase as well. So expecting some vehicles in the mix. Infantry Command having some nice 1960s-esque spirally doodads going on at the moment over there. Not sure entirely what they do. Heavy stubbers opening fire. They've really got to focus down on that Siege Marine, especially with the Flamer almost killing the model with the Flamer, but not quite. Very unfortunate. Would have been a massive boon for them if they were able to get that model down. Listing post over here, firing on Vin Diesel, but Vin Diesel does not care. Managing to build up a heavy bolter turret right outside the Imperial Guard base, almost cutting off their side of the map in half. They are going to have to focus down on this heavy bolter turret before it gets built up. Fists trying to capture this this strategic location with the Siege Marines. Siege Marines being the primary way that they're killing these Guardsmen are going to have to stop themselves capping that point. And what do you do from this point, really? Ah, there we go. They're going to go for some heavy weapons teams. But then again, I mean, they have gone for tier 2. I'm not seeing any much in the way of mechanized commands being built, unless there's anything cheeky happening around the sides. No, not quite. And that's unfortunate, because they put a lot of money in this heavy bolter to it, upgrading up some plasma bits and bobs. But all the enemy are over here, which I suppose is the risk you take when building up turrets. Very, very useful things, but you can't move them once they're put down. Heavy weapons team firing at a distance. They are going to do some damage to these siege marines. Not sure why they're hanging around over here. Imagine take on 2 models. Are now going to turn their attention towards anything and everything within range. They have a mechanized command now being built up, very dangerously close to all these space marines. Maybe potentially distracting them from fully committing to assaulting down on the south side. Does look like a good portion of these space marines are going to focus down on the Tech Priest agency as well as the mechanized command, which does give the Imperial Guard time to focus on the flanks of the space marine player. Will take down, in fact that looks like a whole squad wipe over there. And now the space marines are looking a little bit less impressive than they did before. I'm going to turn their attention now towards the Imperial Guard, but this heavy weapons team really doing a number on the space marines. But this does look like a second squad wipe. There we go, 2 squads completely taken down, and now the whole firepower of the Imperial Guard can be brought to bear on the siege marines. Does also look like the Vin Diesel went down as well somewhere in that firefight. So yeah, the whole army wipe, dear oh dear. That's not what you want to see from your dudes and dudettes from the Space Marine side. Got a Razorback Mark 1 online now, there. And at the moment, the Imperial Guard do not have anything in the way of anti-vehicle mischief to respond to. Don't think that they cancelled their mechanized command either, so they did lose a chunk of resources through that. Razorback charging into the side of these guardsmen. They are going to have to fall back just a little bit. Hopefully going to capture this strategic point before these guys move in. A Devastator squad online at the moment. They do have a heavy bolter gun, not fully upgraded with all the weapons that they can have at the moment. They can get a multi-melter, heavy bolter, plasma cannon and a las cannon. Maybe holding off all their upgrades for any potential mechanized command players. The other heavy weapons team down here, very alone in this world, will run away. Razorback decided not to chase down after them. Viker now in the command squad as well as a priest. Mechanized command has been finished. Command squad going to go nice close and personal with this Razorback. And focus fire down by these guardsmen as well as the heavy weapons team. Razorback does go down very quickly. Not the tankiest of tanks to ever tank, to be honest. As useless as a... oh, what's the phrase? As useless as a fish with tits, as the kids in school would say. Chocolate fire guard. A brick window. Doesn't survive very long. Do have a siege dreadnought on the field now. But very useful if they can get in close combat. Hopefully it's a little bit more tanky than the Razorback. What's going on the base at the moment? 92 and 35 compared to 122 and 53. So the slow but sure economic advantage of the guardsmen is taking effect. They are going to go for some priests. Lots of plasma gens. Going to go for another heavy weapons team. Maybe form like a defensive firing line over here and then slowly push forward. Maybe even see some basilisks on the field. Another siege dreadnought being built up. These LPs are not being upgraded at the moment. We've only got these 2. Relic not even being captured. Dear oh dear, that's a bit of a miss sight. And this listing post over here has been left to its own devices, not being decapped at all at any point during this game, even when the guardsmen were way down here. We have a heavy bottle to it with what looks like, let's have a quick ganders, a anti-air auto-cannony kind of thing. Assume very good against heavy infantry and light vehicles as well. That's my assumption. While things are being calm, let's have a look at these really cool models. Look at those. I do quite like the face plates of some of these Space Marines. Very, I think it's is it the Mark V Space Marine armor? It's like what they had during the Horus Heresy, maybe. My lore knowledge isn't that brilliant. If you do know what that Space Marine armor was, please do let us know in the comments. I do like learning all about lore. My memory is just not very good, as long viewers of this channel are aware of. Also, while there is a bit of cooldown time, just thank you for all the support. There's been a huge influx of new subscribers recently, and there's been like loads of new, like some of the videos just getting upwards of 1k, 2k views. I'm really grateful for all the support and all the positivity in the comments and all that stuff. So thank you ever so much for joining in. We do have tier 3 by the looks of things going for the Imperial Guard. Uncommon Valor being researched. Both forces just building up their own dude. A Librarian coming out to play. Command Squad now moving in. Although not quite. They do see these Devastators and think, nah mate. Too many heavy bolters. Don't want to deal with those guys. Do have a Razorback Mark 1 on the way. Guardsmen look like they'll be going for a bit of a flanking manoeuvre, possibly. Some Cassicans and Ogrins also looking like they're going to be added to the mix. Heavy bottle turret being upgraded with a... seems to be like a very long range. In fact, can they... Oh, let me see what the sight range on that bad boy is. That is a very long range for it to fire with. Very impressive. Priest using his God Save the Emperor ability to keep all his boys alive. I'm going to focus down on this heavy bottle turret. Siege Dreadnought's going to see these guys in situ and will slap these guys around. God Save the Emperor going on the command squad as well. Cast Machine Spear on this Siege Dreadnought. I'm trying to get into a better fighting position out of these guardsmen, but they will notice that the Space Marines over here are decided to use this opportunity to push into the Imperial Guard base and fire away at this tier 2 listing post. Guardsmen now trying to play catch up. Will focus on this Razorback Dreadnought and Razorback tank. Will manage to get it. And we've got some big explosive blooming fiery bits, I assume from the Librarian. Absolutely decimating them in a furious disco light. Valkyrie fire also going down. Again, wiping out the entirety of the army of the Imperial Fist. Librarian will want to get out of there as quickly as possible. He is not welcome on this side of the map. Siege Marines, or Space Marines over here. Only with 2 models left. Siege Dreadnoughts moving in. Being zapped by the Cursed Machine Spirit. Cassicans out on the field. 1 Siege Dreadnought has fallen. Heavy weapons team over here being upgraded with a las cannon. Is it las cannon? I would say also cannon. It will still do gradual damage over time. And look at the bleeding range on this las cannon over here. That is absolutely deadly. Siege Dreadnought not having the best day, will explode in a blue fiery pit of death, and his service to the Emperor has been finished. And so that push from the Imperial Fists not quite working. And while the Imperial Guard have got the numerical and I would say firepower advantage at the moment, if they push too far in and they themselves lose the push like the Imperial Fists do, they will have to take a lot longer, in my honest opinion, to rebuild their guys. I mean, they've got a lot more in the way of actual individual units and individual upgrades to have to get, I suppose. Whereas Space Marines just get your boys in. Nothing coming out of the heavy armour fortification. 99.35 compared to the 137 and 65 of the Guardsmen. They have got an assassin out on the field. He's going to jump inside this infantry command. Possibly maybe teleporting somewhere else. This infantry command smoking and not having the best of times, it has to be said. Ogrins out on the front flanks, as well as the command squad. They will see this heavy bottle turret, see if they can take it down. Space Marines hanging around in the wings, going to move forward. Nice and easy. More exploded bits going on these guardsmen. Absolutely wiping out a whole smorgasbord of them. But almost getting a squad wipe on these guardsmen down here. Ogrins tying up these Space Marines. The Space Marines over here finally captured the relic, which is maybe a little bit too little too late at this point. Listening post firing its las cannons into the hides of the Ogrins. Guardsmen just decapping this strategic point over here after the listening post falls. We do have some Predator Executors being built up at the moment. Limit of 2, so they are just going to go for 2. Quite sizable tank is the Predator Executioner, armed with a plasma cannon. Does a great AoE piece of damage, if I am not mistaken. We have some Lehman Russes now out on the field as well. Not sure where the assassin's gone. Where is he chilling? Oh, he's just chilling out over there. Gradually killing them from a distance. But yeah, just one shot, one kill. What's the deal? And I mean, with it being so subtle, and you don't really notice where the fire's coming from. It's quite easy for an assassin to pick off things for a little while without even being noticed. Predator Executor. Oh, we're going to have a look at this tank. It's a beautiful piece of machinery. It's like a little zappy bit. Triple plasma cannons. And just look at those scratch marks. Absolutely phenomenal little piece of kit right there. Wonderful, beautiful stuff. What is going on? What else is going on? We do have... Bloody neck! That's a Lehman Russ battle tank with a big old Transformer zappy gun. Whatever you would call that. It even has a wonderful effect on the end of the gun where the little plasma bits are dripping out of it. Beautiful stuff. Anyway, big engagement going on. Predator Executioners moving forward. Going to be firing away into the Imperial Guard. Absolutely blasting them all around, preventing them from bringing their advanced weaponry to bear. Space Marines over here standing in the heavy cover, using that to their advantage. Valkyrie fire coming in. You're blasting these Space Marines over in the air. Predator Executor, very, very low health at the moment. No Tech Marines at the moment to stand by and repair them. Commander Squad moving in. Not using its Curse of Machine Spirit just yet. Not sure if it's still on cooldown at the moment. Lehman Russ battle tank going to be taken down. One Predator Executioner tank has fallen there. And it does seem like that the Space Marines have taken this engagement. Going to force the Imperial Guard backwards. They'll have another Lehman Russ on its way. But one Lehman Russ will not be able to take on... I mean, look at that. That was entire army wipe there. Very, very unfortunate. Those plasma cannons really paying dividends at pushing these guardsmen around, preventing them from unleashing fire upon anyone and anyone. Let's have a look at the base. We do have some heavy weapons teams. We do have a Shadow Sword being built by the Imperial Guard. It's like a Bane Blade, but it's got a cooler name, I guess. Nothing much being built up in the Imperial Fist. Although, mind you, we do have a side Heavy Flamers add-on for this Hammerfall bunker turret, as well as another heavy bolter turret. So not pushing out. Again, not using... I mean, they've got the number advantage at this present moment. They could, if they really wanted to, move in. Although it does seem that the Lehman Russ might have even taken out the Executor tank. Oh no, it's just moved back here. We do have a Devastator Centurion squad on its way. Devastator's absolutely, well, dare I say, devastating. They will mince their way through any and all infantry. Kassakan squad being replaced. Shadow Sword just about to finish. That is a big old beefy boy. If ever I did seen one. Like a Bane Blade, but like a little woman on the top. Ready, willing and able. With her auto machine gun thingy-majiggy. Something exploded from behind. It was, it was a building, and when the building exploded, the conscripts came out. So I assume that the Imperial Guard gets some conscripts every time certain buildings get destroyed. Isn't that interesting? I didn't even know that. Look, we're all learning here today. Assassin, moving forward. Doing a bit of reconnoitering while firing from a distance. Taking down one model. Centurions, or Devastator Centurions, ready to enter the fray. Shadow Sword using its las cannons from a distance to fire at these guys. There's some Ogrins moving around the side. Lehman Russ also going for a flanking maneuver. Devastator Centurions chasing away this Lehman Russ, doing a fair number of damage to it, as well as Hammerfall bunker turret. Shadow Sword taking a serious beating from something, not entirely sure what, but there's lots of More librarian nonsense going on. Second or third Lehman Russ battle tank coming onto the field. Ogrins being disco-fied. Probably reducing their line of sight, no doubt. But we can even have a look. Doesn't seem like it. Or maybe just the Shadow Sword has a big area of sight. Line of sight, sorry, that's the word. Rindell throwing out the GG. I mean, I suppose he had lost his entire army. And his pushes weren't exactly going to do much against the Shadow Sword and all these Lehman Russes. So, okay, a bit of an unusual game. But we've got to see some decent engagement, some decent push attempts from both players, as well as some really cool models and some cool effects. So yeah, anyway, my name's been Mr. Landchat. Pleasure as always, never chop. And I'll see you in a bit. Peace.